Have you guys made a decision yet?
I don't even know who this guy is. He just looked so comfortable, I wanted to try it out.
The Mattress Gallery at Randalls Home Furnishings. The brands you're looking for at the price you want. In memory foam, pillow top, and more, Randalls Home Furnishings. Always home to the ultimate value.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, Mark, we're going to talk about the Class 5A matchups, and Owensboro going to Hopkinsville leads our talk here about 5A. Hopkinsville just having a disappointing season.
Right.
No two ways about it, but they played fairly well against Madisonville-North Hopkins last week, only a 28-24 loss.
Right.
Of course, Owensboro's coming off the big win over Apollo, but the key going into this game, you got Jacob Roberts now stepping in at quarterback for Cal Prince, who they lost with a broken leg last week. How do you see that affecting this game?
I think if Jacob Roberts views this the same way he has the last two times he stepped on the field for Owensboro, goes out there, he seems to be very comfortable with what he's doing. They let him go down the field a little bit, and they've let him throw the short passing game. I think as long as he doesn't sit there and kind of get uptight about the fact that, oh, I'm the starter now, I think he'll do fine. I talked to him last weekend after the Apollo game. He seems very level-headed. He seems like he's having fun out there playing and that kind of thing. So I think his mental approach will be fine with this. I do think that they will try to get the ball in the hands of some of their playmakers like Ryan Bowling a little bit more, get them on the outside but via throwing, not so much handoffs and that kind of thing.
I think the only danger really for Owensboro is when you're playing a team that struggled as much as Hopkinsville has, but yet still has players. There's no question they have players. It's just a dangerous team. I mean, they have nothing to lose to just throw everything out there. So that's the concern, I think, if you're Owensboro, is you're just playing a team that's desperate for a win.
I think the fact that Owensboro has some personnel situations now as far as Cal Prince being out, and they're having to retool a little bit with Roberts. I think that probably has gotten the attention of the team more so than if they were just going into this game saying, yeah, we got to win, but, this team's not very good, so that kind of thing.
The other 5A game involving one of our teams is Ohio going to Madisonville. Do you see any way Ohio can bounce back from the Christian loss last week and get it done here, or is this still just probably too much a step in class?
I'm guessing it's probably a little bit too much because evidently Madisonville has some decent qualities to it because they played Christian County close. And I'm guessing they probably just have too much personnel overall.
Right. Well, in the district, Christian's sitting there at 4-0. They've got the district wrapped up. It's really looking like it's going to be Owensboro and Madisonville-North Hopkins. That head-to-head matchup, that would be a week from tomorrow.
Right.
That's probably going to decide a home playoff game, probably.
Yeah, and I think that Owensboro is duly motivated. I sense that they feel like they let an opportunity get away with Christian County, and I think that they definitely want to try to end on a positive note, get themselves some momentum going into this thing. So I think they will view that game as very, very key for them as far as they want to host. They would have had a chance to host 3, but you got to take what you can get at this point.
Well, let's talk about 6A. We got Daviess County going to Muhlenberg County. These are two teams that have definitely struggled this year, to be fair to say. Interesting game from a couple aspects. Muhlenberg beat D.C. last year, which I'm sure D.C. hasn't forgotten that because it was a shocking loss. To be honest about it, Muhlenberg's outscored D.C. this year, and D.C.'s defense, it's just hard to get a read on what kind of defense they have. Is this a really close game, you think?
Oh, I think this will be a very tight game because Muhlenberg seems to have some skill people that can get touchdowns. They can go down the field throwing the ball with Dalton Oliver. What their struggles have been overall, I mean, it's hard to say, but they can put some points up, and that is troublesome for Daviess County because Daviess County has struggled to find the end zone this year.
Yeah. Apollo's going down to Graves County. Graves County doesn't have a great record, but Graves County has played a brutal schedule, and they are 2-1 in district, which is the same as Apollo.
Right.
So now you got Henderson and Marshall both sitting there with 3 wins. So I'm not sure either one of these teams can really vault into a home playoff game, but they at least are in the conversation if they can get a win right here. So this is a huge game.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is that whoever wins is still going to have a shot for that.
Right.
But, you've got to get that W. I don't think this is a good matchup for Apollo because Graves County is a wishbone-type team. They're going to try to keep the ball away from Apollo. I think Apollo needs to get on top. They don't need to play from behind in this game because this is a game where Graves County can be driving for 4 or 5 minutes at a time, and that is giving Apollo some problems this year.
Interesting scenario here. We just mentioned Apollo and Graves are both sitting there at 2-1. DC sitting there at 0-3. So here's the unusual aspect of this. DC needs Apollo to win, and they badly need Apollo to win.
Right.
Because then if DC gets the win, then they're sitting there at 1-3.
Yes.
Graves is 2-2, and those two teams play each other the last game of the district competition. Which, if DC could somehow beat Graves, obviously they have the head-to-head, and DC can still get in the playoffs, but they need a lot of help from their Eagle friends this week, a whole lot of help. So, but anything can happen. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Class 3A real quickly. McLean County going to number 3, Paducah Tilghman. I just can't even imagine any way this could go the Cougars' way.
No, because, Paducah Tilghman is going to be extremely motivated. Fort Campbell beat Paducah Tilghman badly last year. Randy Wyatt, Paducah Tilghman's coach, went on the record going into the rematch this season going, we want this team, we want them bad.
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing that was a very significant loss for Tilghman to McLean County last year in the context of the history of their program. Right? So now you've got McLean County coming in, and Randy Wyatt, he's not a shrinking violet as far as being a competitive kind of guy. And he's probably said, look, these guys embarrassed us last year. We need,
They were Tillman's last loss last year.
That's
McLean
correct.
County. After McLean beat Tilghman, Tilghman never lost another game the rest of the year. Went right on to the state championship.
And they were 2-5 going into that game, which was stunning.
Yeah, it's hard to really understand the Tilghman season last year.
I know.
But as you say, they obviously have been looking for a little payback as this season's rolled on. They beat a very good Union County team last week. So I just think there might be a little too many weapons in the arsenal for this
Yes,
one.
I would think so. I think McLean County's trying, I think we've talked about it before, they're trying to get to the end and kind of, retool themselves for next year somewhat.
All right, well, let's talk about picks here real quick. Fort Campbell at Hancock. I believe you said you had Hancock in that one.
Yes, I do have Hancock in that one winning by I think I had them winning by a point, maybe by an extra point or something like that. I think it'll be a tight game, but I really believe that Hancock has got the mustard to be able to pull this off.
Todd at Catholic, we both obviously are picking Catholic there.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm going to go with Hancock too. I think Hancock will win that game. Owensboro at Hopkinsville. I know it tilts Owensboro, but is the fear factor too great for you in Hopkinsville?
No, I like OHS. If OHS does what they've been doing, and if they continue to enhance themselves offensively, they should be able to win this game.
Ohio at Madisonville. We both said Madisonville. Apollo at Graves. Can Apollo get it done? The offense has looked better the last couple of weeks.
I'm picking Apollo in this game. I have a little bit of a feeling that they can pull this off. They've had a lot of things go badly for them this year, but they seem to have turned it a little bit, especially what they did with the Daviess County game. They've had some personnel changes and that kind of thing.
There's absolutely no doubt the offense has gotten better.
Yes,
but I don't believe it's gotten better enough to beat Graves. So I'm going to have to go with Graves on that one. DC at Muhlenberg.
I believe I picked Daviess County in this game. I believe I picked Daviess County because it seems like Muhlenberg, they're just so inconsistent. Yeah. They're so inconsistent. But, it'll be a struggle. I think it'll be a struggle.
I like Daviess County from the revenge aspect. I guarantee you Marcus Campbell has made no secret of the fact they beat us last year. And I just believe DC goes in there really hungry. And the last one, McLean at Tilghman, and I think we both say Tilghman pretty much by any score they want to make it in that.
Exactly.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this week turns out because I think we're really going to have an idea of where the district scenarios play out after this week. But, get out to the fields, watch the games. There's a lot of good action going around. Everybody's spread out this week. Yeah. I actually only have one city game with the Catholic hosting. And tomorrow you've got a preview of Hancock Fort Campbell.
Yes.
And you also have a nice feature on Masden Riney, Catholic standout wide receiver. So please check out the Messenger-Inquirer for all the information on the games coming up this weekend. And then we will be back at 2 o'clock Monday to wrap up the action. So until then, we do thank you for watching.